Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Two Grown Men. Today, as usual, is my brother Yemi. Yemi, what's going on? How you doing?
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Happy New Year to you, Laomi, and Happy
Merry
New
New
Year,
Year, bro.
everyone.
Merry New Year, everyone. As usual, I go by the name Allow Me the Hairy, the guy with too much hair, the guy with the tangles. How you doing, man? Merry New Year, bro. How
Same
was
here,
your
same here. I'm
holiday?
Yemi,
How you
Yemi with
doing,
no
bro?
hair. But I've been told in some quarters that it's looking good. It's looking good. I'm aging well. The salt and pepper is working. So I'm owning my stuff. I'm owning it. Tell you what. Tell you what. I thought it was only me until a few brothers started to confess that they started to use Dark and Lovely, the men's version. One dial in Jebe. One dial
They're
in
dying
Jebe. For
again.
those of you
They're
that don't
dying
understand
again.
Yoruba, they are dying the thing. They are dying it black. They are dying it. They are dying it. I'm not dying my own. My own is au naturel. Au
Oh,
naturel.
they're dying it gray, right? They're dying it gray.
Some are dyeing it gray, but
Uh,
there's no gray dye. There's white dye. So there's some
yeah,
people that you
true.
see with abnormally white dye, and
White
like,
beard.
is this white or is this supposed to be gray? But many dye it
Ah,
black. But then you
I
know
would,
that thing now. You have to
I,
keep
I
up with
would,
it.
I
You have
wouldn't
to keep
dye
up
it
with it.
black. You know what? If I was going to dye my hair,
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably bleach it. I'd probably go blonde or platinum, like
Okay,
proper full
completely
on white,
different color. Now that
full
makes
on
sense.
white, full on white. I think I would be very comfortable with full on white hair. Full on white. I admire people with. I have an uncle who's got everything's white,
So that's
and
still silver
I
fox
admire
thing going
that
on, right?
silver, full on silver fox, man. So I'd
Yeah.
like to do that. I'm thinking about it. I just give them white or give them blonde. Give
Yes,
them
sir.
blonde
Yes, sir.
everything.
Yes, sir.
Let's just not age. At least physically, at least in
Exactly.
appearance.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
you know, the thing is, I see people who don't like going gray. Doesn't bother me in the least. As I see this life, you have two options. You can grow old or you can be dead.
Hmm. Those are the only two options, ladies and gentlemen. Two, just two.
Those two.
That's deep.
You can grow old or you can stop growing old.
Hmm.
And the only way you stop growing old is to die.
Hmm.
And then you're forever frozen in the moment, at the age in the moment where you passed. So pick one.
Hmm.
Embrace your gray. Embrace your gray. Come on. Be at peace with gray.
Embrace your gray. First
Embrace your gray.
magical words in 2025. Guys, if you're new to this
Mhm.
channel, please hit that like button first and
Like
foremost.
button. Give
Subscribe
us
to
a
our
thumbs up.
channel and
Give
be
us a
part of the
thumbs up.
conversation. We like to hear from you. We like your comments. It encourages us to do more. Allow me, elephant in the
Yes,
room.
sir.
Dirty,
Yes,
dirty
sir.
December. Let's talk
Dirty
about it.
December.
Let's talk
Dirty
about it.
December. Let's
Let's
talk
just
about
talk
it.
about it.
Let's
Yeah,
talk
let's
about
talk
it.
about it. Let's
You
talk about
know,
it. Let's talk
Dirty
about it.
December. How can I describe Dirty December?
I have a question.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Where did the money come from and where did it go?
Ah,
Two questions.
ah.
Where did the money come from? Because January to November, T-Pain, T-Pain, T-Pain. Even the real T-Pain said, am I trending again? What's going on? I said, guy, it's not your music, man. You won't
No,
understand.
you. Hello, Moeri.
Now,
No, you.
December, I didn't hear any T-Pain. All I was just hearing was Dirty December. So over to you. Because you're the man on
Ah,
ground.
Dirty December is an interesting one.
Hmm.
It's a very interesting one. Where did it come from? You have to Google that. I mean, look, we lived in
Where
Denver
did it come
too.
from? Why
I
this
don't know. I don't
December?
know. But I feel like Dirty December was only coined a few years ago, maybe like a decade ago or something, or
Hmm.
less. I think it's that phrase, Dirty December, is actually very recent. It's worth Googling it. I think it's a very recent phenomenon. But we've always done
You mean Dirty
Christmas
December?
time. We're going, yeah, the
So
phrase
hold on.
Dirty
So hold
December.
on.
Yeah.
It says Dirty December is a Nigerian slang term that has become synonymous with the vibrant, high energy festivities that take place during December in Nigeria. It now says Nigerians have always associated December with celebration, blah, blah, blah. The term dirty is derived from the Nigerian Pidgin English word for dirty, used
Yeah.
colloquially to mean getting wild, having fun, or
Mm-hmm.
indulging. The term gained traction through Nigerian social media influencers and celebrities who began to use it in the late 2010s to
Yeah.
describe the excitement of the festive season. Ah, okay.
Yeah. So it's a very recent term.
So it's
Very
now
recent
become a
expression.
cultural phenomenon.
It's now definitely. Someone described it today as the spring break of is it Africa's spring break or the spring
Mm,
break of December,
mhm,
where the hottest place to be in the world, or one of the hottest places to be in the world, is Nigeria,
mhm.
specifically Lagos in December at
Yep.
Christmas
Because
time.
it's not every state that it happens. Yeah.
No. But you know, every state has some
Their
level
version.
of excitement of their version. It's just that Lagos is, as you know, the party spot, the cultural melting pot of Nigeria, of Africa generally. So I think that I mean, look, we when I was younger, we used to go to the village. We used to go to Jebu for Christmas, and
Mhm,
that there's still that sense of we're all around. My cousins when we were younger, when we all started to drive, you see us with go. I mean, we go to each other's houses. Oh, so and so person's having their Christmas party. Will be there. The following day will be somebody else's Christmas party, and you be in Jebu for a week,
absolutely.
and every day you are in somebody else's house for. So, but you didn't call it Dirty December there, but that's what it was. All of us that were in the village, you'd have called each other a few weeks before. Are you guys going for Christmas? Some of us had no choice. We were compelled to go.
Hmm.
So we knew the cousins that always came to Ijebu for Christmas. We knew. And once you guys arrived, you start in the days before there were mobile phones. Once you arrive, I had some cousins who lived opposite our house. So once we arrived, we would ask their security guard
Mhm.
that, our so and so people are they around, you know, and from the day that and they used to arrive before us. So from the day that they arrived, they're telling their security man that once these guys arrive, let us know. And every time they were walking past our house, they'd ask security, and you would know when we were around, and vice and all the other cousins arriving. And as people are arriving there, as they're driving past your house, they're looking inside and seeing, are there cars outside, are there canopies, are there tents outside? Okay, yeah, these guys are around. And it was so we've always partied in December. We've always partied. It's just that with the impact of social media, I guess, is this thing now where we have names for things that we've always done that were just nameless things. I mean, to borrow the word nameless, but that's what it always has been, right? We've always partied at Christmas. We just didn't call it Dirty December until
We
about a
just didn't have
decade
a
ago.
name for it. I mean, when we're super young, for it was the Father Christmas for us when we're super young. As we
Mm,
started to get older,
mhm.
who remembers Lekki's Sunsplash? Who remembers Fela, the
What?
late Fela Abami Eda, God rest his
Abameda,
soul.
Abameda.
Yeah,
God,
at
God rest Baba's soul.
all the Ras Kimono and all of them would have stuff
Oh
on
yeah,
Barbie before
oh
they now moved
yeah,
into
oh
Lekki
yeah,
Beach and
oh yeah,
Eleko before you
oh
now
yeah,
had the Elegushi days. So
yeah, oh
Christmas
yeah,
has
oh yeah.
always been lit, but I think what's different is there's, like you said, social media now, the packaging,
Hmm.
and I think we have um before I get into Afrobeats, December 26th, December 27th, December 28th, you used to have this collective uh event between comedians and musicians. Do you remember?
Mm, mhm, mhm, mhm.
Similar to Night of a Thousand Lives, but just for, and they
Different
would do,
shows.
they would do it in a
Yeah.
hotel
There'll be rhythm
with
unplugged. There'd
Alibaba.
be
Exactly.
yeah. I
So that
remember.
too trended before this whole Dirty December craze came
Uh,
about. That too trended for quite a few years, where the whole month, and then you would have company Christmas parties, and then you
which is
also
still
have,
what the things that make up Dirty December.
it's the whole month. It's a whole
It's
month
the whole
of
month of the
activities. Yeah.
Christmas, yeah, company Christmas parties and all the other things that would happen. Family Christmas parties, certain individuals having their Christmas parties,
Hmm.
and some families doing their then clubs. So Ikoyi Club will have their Christmas party, all the make family clubs. Ikoyi Club will have their Christmas party. Yoruba
Yeah,
Tails
I've
Club will
been
have
I've
their
been to
Christmas
one or two
party.
in the past.
Yeah, Island Club will
Yep.
have their Christmas parties.
Mhm.
Country Club will have their Christmas party. All the social clubs will have theirs, and there would also be people like communities, groups of friends would have one of the estates where I used to live would have a Christmas party. We'd have an estate. For a lot of estates have their Christmas parties. Yeah, a lot of
Yep.
estates do that. They have Christmas parties. So it's literally every day when you wake up. And then now, I mean, and the bars are having their events. So every day when you wake up, there are things to do.
Christmas was
And
never
then
boring for me when I was
do
growing
you
up.
remember?
As you know, I lived in a communal estate of over 5,000 people. So Christmas could never be boring because
Yeah,
there was somebody
5,000.
cooking jollof rice,
Yeah,
fried rice. There was party
yeah,
everywhere. So Christmas has
everywhere.
always been
Oh,
fun in Nigeria.
of
It has always
course,
been
of
fun.
course, of course. And of course, when we moved to Diablo, to the diaspora, and you're
Uh-huh.
coming home at Christmas time, you're coming home. I remember you're arriving at the airport, it is cold. If you live in certain parts of the world, it's
It's
cold.
cold. Yeah.
You are headed to the airport, and you know you're going to be warm for the next 2 weeks.
Yes, sir.
You're going to be warm. You know what? Because you're going from wearing your winter jacket, your winter coats, your
You know you're not wearing that winter
hoodie.
jacket again till you go back. Till you
Next
go
two
back.
weeks. Next 2 weeks. That's it. So you're going to the
Blitz.
airport. As you go to the
Blitz.
airport, you're like, yeah, as you get to the airport, you're checking in, and then you're already like lining. As soon as you land in Lagos, you're taking off that. As soon as you go on the plane, you're taking that jacket. But when you land in Lagos, you're probably in a t-shirt, and you're already in that mood. And then look, we're in Lagos, man. I mean, I've arrived in Lagos and gone clubbing that same day before. What? We're clubbing that night too. You just go home, barely said hi to your parents.
And you're out.
Barely said hi, and you're out. What? Especially if you were one of those that were arriving like Christmas Eve, 23rd, when people have been arriving since like the 17th, especially when we were students. When you were students, people have been arriving since like the 14th, the 15th. You're arriving on the 24th. So you'll be seeing, if you remember that the days of high five and then Facebook, you'll be seeing the pictures of people rocking.
Tagging themselves. Don't forget that.
And you're still in London. You're like, oh God. You're wherever it is,
You're going to miss all the fun.
You're like, no, maybe especially when you're working, you're only going to get from 23rd to like the 2nd off or something. So all the first week of rocking, you've missed out on the first week of rocking.
Essentially,
you're going to goes on the 24th. That thing, you're going from the airport to the club. What? Give them. You're giving them. You know what? You're arriving. You go dropping your bags at home. Your boys are already calling you the alpha. Where you were. We'll pick you up, or come up to so and so place. You meet up in so and so place, and you guys are going out there.
My Christmas was okay. I thank God, but I know it was late because every single. I mean, there was this 50-something-year-old woman that did a video on TikTok, and she said she was doing her makeup and everything, and she put FOMO there in the description, fear of missing out. That I must do the look. It's not an age thing. This I've heard so much about Detty December that I must rock it this year. How was it for you?
Yeah.
How was it for you?
Fun. So it was fun, no doubt. It was fun. But I tell you something, maybe because I'm getting older, or maybe it's just life. I find that the noise
is too much.
The partying is fine. You can control the partying. It's the noise I can't deal with. You're spending, it's traffic. So I remember I used to joke that I remember when I used to come back, and my friends who had moved at the point where boys started moving back. Like, our guy K. Like the first December he moved back, when he moved back, boys are coming and he's excited. By the second year, he's like, guys, when are people going back now? And you're like, well, he said, guys, hurry up and go back. Why? You're like, guys, the bars that we normally go to where they beg us to come inside, you guys arrive and all of you are speaking for all you IJGBs. Then the bar is now crowded. The quiet lounges we normally go to have a good quiet time.
It's now crowded.
It's now a nightclub. It's not a nightclub. Hurry up and go back. I remember the first year I moved back. Couldn't wait. Second year, by third year, you IJGB should go back now. So initially it's fun because Your friends are coming back. Friends you left behind are coming back. It's going to be good to see your boys. The last time you saw them was over the summer or Easter, whenever you went to wherever it is. So they're coming home, going to rock it. But then I remember, I think it was the second or third year after I came back. My IGGB friends were around, and we were going to a bar. There's a bar in VI we used to go to that. Normal Friday night we go in. I arrived there and it was a crowd trying to
It'll be
get in.
absolutely packed.
And then they're now trying to trying to control access. I remember saying to the manager that I remember ringing the manager and saying, "Excuse me, we're outside though." I and the manager ran outside and was telling the bouncers that let our regulars come inside though. That's
Because when these guys go back,
In fact, there was a night one of our friends was harassing the owner of one bar. That's you are saying one club that you are saying the fool now can't come in now, but don't worry. We see you in February. You beg us to come back in February, and it's true, yeah, because I think the manager was being really silly that night. So they they're talking about access control and all that. Well, I think for us. So he ran
or
the owner of the
greedy,
man and
or
said,
greedy.
no, it was in fairness, you know what? It was full.
That was full.
Or when you know it's going to be full, you're not going to try and control who comes in so that you only have a certain crowd inside. But your regulars are going to show up in slippers.
Yep.
They're going to show up like this is how we come here regularly. Why
native slippers, yeah.
So and then you're going to get there and find that you go to the gate, and then you find that maybe the bouncers are different, not the bouncers that you know, or to even get to the gate, there's a problem. And you get to the gates, and the bouncers are people that you don't know, so they don't know you. So they're gonna be like, "Oh God, are you people crazy in this place? Lekoi, are you crazy?" And maybe they have a manager or someone who's running a night there, and that one is also being silly. Where they're like, "Oh no, can't come in."
And they don't
So my
know
guy,
you.
they don't know you. So my guy called you and said, "Excuse me, we're outside." He said, "We cannot come inside." So no. He said, "Don't worry. February. See you in February now. February, March." Because some guys arrive for New Year, right? But by second week in January, crowds are thinning out. But
Yes,
we'll see you in February.
February is when everything just clears.
Everything
When it
was
just
clear.
clears.
Clear. So you now start calling your regulars back. Okay, why won't we see you now? Let me see you. Us. But so the more I lived in Lagos, the more it was now like, then there's the traffic.
I heard it was sick.
Oh.
I mean, I saw a few. I've experienced it before, so I know. 1:30 a.m. traffic at the Lekki toll, like literally 30 minutes. I'm like, where's everybody going?
Where's everybody going?
Where's everybody going?
One night I left my house at 1:30 a.m. Right? Pull out of my estate onto the road, and there's traffic. 1:30. But wait, boy, no, where are you guys going? Then I asked myself, okay, you two, they ask you questions. Where are you two going?
Exactly.
They are talking. Where are
exactly.
You going?
Exactly.
Where are you going? Compare, Bobby. Where are you going?
You are part of them. We are part of them.
Yeah. You're coming home through some chorus, and you know that look, this chorus passing because there was a night from my house to the there's a traffic light on the highway. There's a traffic light. You can walk from my house to traffic lights in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Okay. If you're driving, it will take you 2 minutes. Once the light goes green, take you 2 minutes to get home. One night, my wife and I spent an hour and a half at the light.
Wow.
Between those two lights, right? The two lights nearest
at the traffic lights.
Yeah. We were looking at our house. You can see my house from the road. And we're looking at our house like this. We're looking at the house. It's a 5-minute walk from where, and you can see the house. 5-minute walk because you have to walk around the corner. It's not a straight path. But you're seeing your house, and you're there for an hour and a half.
That's frustrating.
So we drove past. We had to basically go past and make a U-turn and drive through back roads. An hour and a half. There was another night we spent 2 hours. Same thing. We drove past, turned around, came back, and we just sat down in the car. We just sat in the car. I said to her at one point, I said, "Do you want to walk home?" She's like, I should walk home at 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning. I should walk home by myself. But my own thing was just walk home, go home, and go and rest. I'll brave this traffic by myself. And she's like, that would be great if it was daytime. But it's mad. And then there are the sirens, there are the escorts. Wah, woo, 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 woo. Guys, there's traffic. Why are you playing siren? There's traffic. You're not going anywhere. Turn that siren off. Look, buy a helicopter because
The
where
traffic
you going?
traffic is insane.
We're all
Yes.
stuck. And then there's a convoy on my right. Or on my right from left. There's a convoy on my left blowing siren. There's a convoy on my right with siren. There's a convoy ahead of me, siren. There's a convoy behind me, siren. And all of you are doing whoa, 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 whoa. I'm like, where are you guys going? People, there's traffic here.
Where
You're
people
not clearing.
going?
Yeah. You're not clearing anything. You're not going to clear anybody from here. So can you please just stop making noise? So there's a journey that normally would take you, even with Lagos traffic, unless the days when Lagos is being mental. Lagos, a journey that will normally take you 30 minutes, 1 hour. You're there for 4 hours. You're going to a party, and the party will be over before you get there. I mean,
don't even bother.
But you can't turn around. You're stuck.
Because you've
yeah,
that's the thing.
You can't make a U-turn. You're stuck.
You've already committed, so you might as well just
You can't do anything about it. You are there. There's nothing you can do about it.
So I read an article on this particular topic on Detty December, and I can't remember which international newspaper was that I read it, or was online anyway. And it referred to Detty December as an event that Coachella had to learn from. And I thought, wow.
Oh, yeah.
He said, Coachella, you need to learn how to do beats. You need to learn how to properly plan a proper international event. That's when I knew that, wow, this thing has gone. But they are still.
Yeah. But is that really fair? Detty December is not one event.
Yeah.
Detty December is a series of independent, unrelated events.
Unlike Coachella.
Unlike Coachella, that's one event under one umbrella. So you're responsible for so many things. But
for like a weekend,
But Detty December it's 100 events in one night. Pick your economic bracket. Pick your
They've got
pleasure.
something for you. Yeah, they've got something for you.
Pick it. And
if you want 5,000 naira, is there.
Whatever you want to spend 5
million
naira.
1.2 million naira tables.
Is there. Then there are the house parties. We had a few games nights, house parties, get together. As we get older, we have a few more of those get-togethers and games nights and co. Or you have parties in people's houses that are not so noisy.
Right.
That's still
more intimate and more close-knit of like mind.
And then you have small concerts in small hotels, big concerts in the usual concert halls, concerts in places like Ikoyi Club, concerts happening at, I was at Yoruba Tennis Club. They had the usual Christmas dance, and they had a live band. So it's different things. They have live bands. Ikoyi Club will have King Sunny Ade. They'll have like a variety. They'll have a DJ night. They'll have a variety of things. So it's not. My point is that it's a bunch of things. There's the Flight Time Festival, which is maybe you compare Coachella to a Flight Time Festival. I guess that's what you compare it to.
Which is sort of like for like, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's it. An international festival. And those guys they put on a show. Flight Time put on a mad show. They put on a show. Shout out to Flight Time for for
on a show,
flying the flag and making it better and better every year. Shout out. But so when somebody says Coachella and Detty December, come on now. We're bigger than Coachella. This is Nigeria now.
Somebody sent me something about on WhatsApp. I don't know if you saw it. By this guy called some consultants that worked for Lagos State. A guy called Kayode Osebi, consultant to Lagos State government on taxation and revenue. And then some figures that I got.
Saw that,
Did you see it as well?
Yeah,
I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the major things I saw was about 550,000 inbound passengers between November 19th and December 25th, 2024. 90% of the passengers were diasporans visiting majorly for leisure and tourism, add visiting family. Well, I guess that's
Yeah.
under leisure. Top five originating countries were US, Canada, Italy, South Africa, and UK. Top five destination states were Lagos, Edo, Delta, Ondo, and Ogun states. Lagos recorded 1.2 million estimated tourists. 60%. This was interesting. Were local tourists
Wow.
majorly from Southeast and FCT. Insecurity in the Southeast drove the numbers from the region, while PBAT presence in Lagos drove the numbers from FCT. Revenue from hotel bookings is estimated at 54 billion naira, which is about $36 million, with 15,000 confirmed bookings in the month of December. Estimated food and breakfast revenue from guests were 13.5
Do you want to put
billion
it on the
naira.
screen?
Yeah, and it just goes on and on and on with different things. The hotel shotlets, and top 15 lounges. But I think apart from family, right, we're also having a lot of, and it ties to what you were saying earlier, about when we were younger, we would come home for Christmas. But I think what is changing now is we're having a plethora of younger people in their 20s who have no prior connection to Nigeria, apart from the fact that
Mhm.
their parents, I'm talking about people that their parents don't live in Nigeria. So in our
Yeah.
case, either our parents lived in Nigeria. I've always lived in Nigeria. I've never lived
Mhm.
abroad. But we're
Mhm.
now having 25, 26, 27, 31, 32 year olds whose parents are in Canada, UK, Australia, Italy, etc. And they
Who
are
were
coming
born abroad and have never been up. Yeah, they've never lived in
they're
Nigeria.
coming on their own just to experience it.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
the
yeah.
issues, what I liked about it was the way they were able to get the security right. That was telling to
Lagos.
me because
Yeah,
I
no.
didn't really hear any
Lagos,
kudos.
Lagos State government. Lagos State
They
government.
did well. Not I didn't hear any
Mm,
horror stories on TikTok, people being
mm.
raped, people being kidnapped, they're looking for this person's wallet, this person's phone was stolen. At least I didn't see any videos or any kind of people saying, "Oh, I'm never going back again because of such a horrible experience." So they must have done something really, really, they must have gotten something really right on the security standpoint. So that has to be applauded because face it, without security, nobody's gonna
To be
gonna
honest,
go.
Lagos State got a lot right too. We complain about the traffic, but I'll
Are you
tell
on
you
ground? So
something.
let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I'll tell you something about Lagos State that you have to give the government credit for. There were LASMA guys
Hmm.
around at 2 o'clock in the morning with
2 a.m.
reflective, yes, what's it called, illuminated ones, and they were controlling traffic. And there were armed policemen at strategic points, and they were controlling traffic. You have to give Lagos State
So they
that.
walked. They walked. They
They,
walked.
they,
They
we were
walked.
not left to our own devices.
Hmm.
I mean, one night my wife was saying that. Can you imagine that? That's the last man guy. It was like 3 a.m. and there's a last man guy out there. So they have, and it's not
Wow.
normal in Lagos to find last mile guys out on the road, except
At
in
that
certain
time.
areas. Usually because of traffic in certain areas, you will find last mile guys out at 8, 9 p.m. in certain areas. But
Hmm.
at 2 o'clock in the morning, there were last mile guys on the road. And I don't
Hmm.
think those guys were there illegally. I mean, clearly somebody posted them out there. And, traffic was that horrendous, despite how hard those guys work. Please, I want to give shout out to Last Man. I mentioned the Last Man. Don't get me wrong. They have their excesses, but
But on
in
this
terms
occasion,
of managing that traffic,
hmm, and the
in
people.
terms of managing that traffic in December and just keeping the city moving, and the city is literally bursting at the seams. But in terms of keeping the city moving, they did their best.
Hmm.
Given the resources they have and the infrastructure that's really available, I mean, everybody's driving. You will call an Uber. You will call an Uber
How long
that
will it
normally
take?
you give up sometimes 40 minutes. You're still waiting. Then an Uber ride that should normally cost you 2,000 naira, they tell you is 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. And you're like,
12
That
key.
journey is 2 or 3 kilometers. That's a 2-3 kilometer journey. Why am I paying 12,000 for it? But that's what it is. It's because of demand and supply.
Hmm.
It's demand. And then obviously there's a time that the Uber is going to spend in traffic. One, getting to you. Two, getting you to where you want to go to. Oh,
Hmm.
mad. Oh,
Oh my
mad.
God.
Oh,
Gone.
mad. And then you find yourself, to go back to what I was saying earlier, you find yourself saying, this IGB should please hurry up and go back now. Then there's the fact that you are now spending money, you are bringing your especially now that in this our economic that naira is not doing much, and $1 is almost 2,000. It's like 1,709. So imagine what somebody bringing $1,000 or
Dollars. Yes.
$2,000 or
Yes.
$5,000 home is doing as they're spending money. $5,000 for what that.
In a
So the
year that
things
was
that
extremely challenging for
for
for a
Nigerians,
lot of people.
I'm going to address something very quickly. I actually got something wrong a few minutes ago when I said what's the economy of Coachella. It's actually quite big. I think I'm forgetting that is the US, right? I'm seeing Coachella here. I'm seeing $117 million.
Revenue.
Yes,
Wow. Wow. Wow.
yes.
Wow.
So maybe I should not.
Maybe you should
I'm okay.
revise
I
that.
saw something. It says there's an article I saw on Statista. It says Coachella has not published its ticket sales and revenue figures comprehensively since 2017, but reportedly grossed around 114.6 million US dollars in that year. That's 114 million dollars in 2017 for
Wow.
Coachella.
Likely to be more. Okay. So it's bigger. It's bigger.
It's bigger. It's definitely bigger. And that's in love because it's not like this December that's actually just a whole city partying. I guess you'd have to compare something like Carnival in Brazil or like the
But
West
the
Indian carnivals
comparison
here.
wasn't even about the revenue. It was about what you get in terms of the
Yeah,
vibe, the
yeah.
organization, the music.
But I'm saying
It's
that.
just the culture. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying that Coachella is still curated. Is
It's
my
huge.
point. It's still
Yeah.
a curated thing. But Detty December is not. It's Detty December is a series, a collection of random events. Some curated, some not curated. Under one umbrella, one party. So I think it's more like you're looking at something like one of those West Indian carnivals or like Carnival in Brazil, in terms of the scale and size. And those Caribbean islands tend to be smaller. Lagos is a city of 25 million people. So when you look at the numbers of people that they said came into the country and into the city, that tells you why we're bursting. So
At
in
the
terms of
seams, like
scale,
you said, yeah.
the city's bursting. But it can also be fun. You're going to parties. And then you asked earlier, where is the money coming from? So they understand that there'll always be rich and there'll always be poor.
Yes.
People who deal in certain commodities are always going to have money. If you sell food, you sell certain things, you're always going to have money, right? So there are people who are poor, there are people who are rich. There are also people who save their money all year to have a good time in December. And I will not lie. When I was younger, I used to have a December budget. Or I used to have I know that Christmas, I'm going to spend this much money. So that you have a budget.
You've been putting it aside,
Even if you're not putting it aside, that's 1 month you're not saving any money. God,
yes,
you're not saving. Yeah, godly, you're not saving. So, or if you saved, you're saving a lot less that month. You're spending a lot more. And it's not just you, your boys. I mean, I remember like on certain WhatsApp groups, people are already saying, "Oh, more this December is going to be messy," and the people who are looking forward to. They've got time. And you know how Nigeria is that we get time off work. A lot of industries will shut down. So a lot of people get that without taking leave. Entire industries are shutting down. The guys at Alaba will shut down. The guys at Matori will shut down. Because the Igbo guys are going. The Igbo traders are going to the east, especially when security wasn't such a big deal. People are going to the east for Christmas.
Spending Christmas and New Year there. Yes.
Industries like construction will shut down. Some consulting firms will shut down. Some industries will shut down. Some law firms will shut down. You get that thing. So you can imagine a lot of people have a lot of leisure time on their hands. Schools are on holiday, so that you're not driving your school. You're out on a Monday night, knowing that you're not working on Tuesday morning. Or if you're working, You don't have to show up until 9, 10, and that by 3 o'clock everybody's left the office because your bosses are not coming. You know, did I? When was, did I? I didn't. I'm not sure I went to the office since the 15th or something.
Yeah.
I stopped going to work since
But
the
the good
15th.
thing about it is there was a lot of great feedback from families as well. So yeah, we've
Yeah.
talked about boys, we've talked about people going out, that scene, but there was a lot as well. A lot of family events with bouncy
Mhm.
castles and
Oh yeah.
people taking boat rides with their
Yeah.
families, going to the
Oh yeah.
beach. So many family activities.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Giwa Gardens. Shout out to some of those other places
Mm,
and resorts. Some people just went to resorts. People that are a bit well heeled and could afford it just
mm,
went to resorts. A few resorts just to spend time with the family. So
mm, mm.
yeah, it's good. It's good for the
And
culture. It's
remember,
good for the
Christmas
culture.
is also historically a family time. If you remember,
Yes.
I mean, look at your Bible. The very first Christmas was a pilgrimage, right?
Mhm.
It occurred during a pilgrimage. Christ was born during a pilgrimage. Well, I say pilgrimage. The family was traveling to Bethlehem, as the legend goes. Okay, and it was a time of, and I think it's always so. It's been that way. People travel home, wherever they are in the world. People travel to where their families are to congregate for. So it's a time for family, really. And plenty faji,
Yes, so
plenty rocking,
food,
plenty, plenty
gifts,
alcohol,
concerts,
concerts, parties.
Christmas
Yeah,
carols. I went to some
events. Yeah.
fantastic Christmas carols a few Christmases ago, a
Mm.
few more than a few years ago actually at Muson. Brilliant,
Do-
brilliant musicians just
oh
playing
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah,
plays
oh yeah. You
theater.
get those as well. Yeah.
So there's something
Play
for everyone, guys.
theater,
Just don't think,
musicals. Yeah.
don't just think that Dirty December is about parties. I know
No,
that, but there's so much to do.
there's
There's
a lot
so
of
much to
culture.
do.
There's a lot of culture. There are
Yes,
open mic
yes,
nights. There
yes.
are
Poetry, if you like poetry,
poetry. Yeah.
literature.
There
JK,
are
shout out
art.
to the
There are
JK
art exhibitions.
Randall,
Yeah.
JK Randall Center that's just opened.
Mm,
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant place. So
mm,
many different artists that are showcasing their talents, museums.
mm.
It's there's a I call it a cultural revolution, and it has been there in Lagos for some time now, for a few years, which
Yeah.
culminates with 30 December to end the year.
Yeah.
So, Lami, any last thoughts on this one before we call it a day?
Oh, tell me, how was your own Christmas?
Mine was quiet. Mine was quiet.
Mm,
Wasn't as fun as Dirty December, but yeah, I spent it with some family members, and yeah, we
that's
tried to
good.
make the best out of it. Lots of
That's good.
food. Yeah, it was good. Ended up going to a Naija restaurant towards the end of the year. Had some abula, which was
Nice.
I don't shy away from abula, and it was authentic as well. The chef was did a great job, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, thank you.
Nice. Nice.
Mm.
Nice. Nice one. Anyway, Emmy, it's been good catching up. I feel
Yeah,
like this Dirty
absolutely.
December thing, we're going to still talk about it some more. I feel like we're not done with it yet.
Yeah, we can do a second episode. We can do a
Yeah,
second episode.
do
Guys,
more.
let us know what you think. If you were in Lagos and you originally reside in Lagos, or you're from another part of the country and went to Lagos for it, what were your thoughts? Put it down in the comment section. If you
Mm,
came from diaspora anywhere in the world and you flew down for Dirty December, were you disappointed? Were you happy? Was it as
mm.
expected? What did you do? Where did you go? Share with
Yeah,
us. We'd like to hear from you.
yeah. And if you I'm starting to think of like many angles to Dirty December, but and if you spent your Christmas in Nigeria but not in Lagos, if you're one of those that went to the East for Christmas,
How was
went
your experience?
how was your experience? You want to talk about it. If you want to come and join us on the show and talk about anything Dirty December, anything else
Or
at
any
all,
topic?
any topic at all, just
Yeah,
just give us a shout at twogrownmen@gmail.com. We're on Twitter X as Two Grown Men. We're on Instagram as Two Grown Men. We're two
absolutely.
grown men. We're just two. We're you. We're two middle-aged guys who just talk about life. And like you see, no script. We're just vibing. All right. You want to be a
Unscripted,
part of us,
absolutely.
whether you're male or female. Look, come and share your perspective with us. We want to hear from you.
Come on,
Let's have you
come
on
on,
the show.
come on,
Come and join us
come
on
on,
the show.
come on, come on, come on.
And we'll talk about it. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna have another Dirty December episode tomorrow. I think I
Let's
want to
do it.
discuss
Let's
Dirty,
do it
Dirty December
in
hookups.
detail.
at things. You know, like
Okay,
all the
let's
things
get
are
into the
Joro
wiki.
Lumofi and Co. Joro
Okay,
had a Detty
okay,
December
okay.
series,
I
you
see
know.
where you're going with this. All right. Anyway,
I want to dig deep into this thing some more. Anyway,
guys, one
ladies
more
and gentlemen,
PSA. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment, and we'll see you in the next one.
thank you very much. Odaro, God bless you. Good night.
Good night.